Hey, hey everyone. Uh, it's been a day. It's been a morning, and I've been kind of in a strange space. I have like mascara all over my eyes because I was sobbing this morning. I was really devastated and crying my eyes out because I heard some really disturbing news about a spiritual teacher that I've been working with for the past couple of years. And this teacher, I have learned so much. I have made so many breakthroughs. The consciousness, my consciousness has expanded, my awareness, like healing on so many levels. Like, this teacher has done so much for me, and I'm so fucking grateful. And much of what I share, much of what I talk about is really like coming from a lot that I've learned from this teacher. And so this morning when I read about a situation that he was involved in that really was questionable, a bit disturbing, it made me, I just went through all the feels this morning. I went through shock, I went through anger, I went through deep sadness, and I was grieving. Like, I was really grieving because all too often situations like this come up where people are put in a position, people who are influencers, teachers, healers, coaches, therapists even, are in these positions of of power, and they end up taking advantage of that. And I so did not want that to ever happen to this teacher that I had. Like, I didn't want to ever hear any story like that coming out with his name attached to it. So I was just, wow. And of course, me being someone who's like a Me Too survivor more than once, it's even more triggering to people like me, I know. So I know part of my reaction was my own stuff, like my own pain being triggered, and me being very defensive for women who, things happen to. So I have to process still all of this and take my own stuff out of it and really get to more of a place where I'm sending love and holding space, not only for the woman who was involved on the other side, but for my teacher as well, that, he finds it within him to be really transparent right now and take full responsibility and really recognize where he still has healing work to do. So here's the challenge, right? Here's the challenge when you're dealing with healers and coaches and all these things. Sometimes we can put them up on a pedestal and we can give them like a guru status, like, or influencers who have big followings, like they get this guru status, and people like are really, really influenced by them. And so there are some situations that can come up that are really, and I know, like, when you're doing healing work, when you're doing spiritual work, it's intoxicating sometimes. Like, this spiritual teacher, he's I know a conscious man, right? A conscious man, like, that's something that so many women are craving. So no doubt that there's sexual energy there. No doubt that there's attraction that can happen. Like, I know where all these things can happen. I know how that situation can end up happening. But here's the thing. So, and everybody's human. I'm sure he felt the sexual energy, or he feels it. And I'm sure when you are the influencer sometimes, and your following does grow to this huge level, and you do become kind of famous, that sometimes it can get intoxicating. And I was hoping that he would transcend this, though. Like, I was hoping that he would transcend this, and I was just heartbroken. That he put himself in that vulnerable position, and that he kind of took advantage in a way of a woman who is in a vulnerable position. Because when you're a teacher, when you're a healer, are you perfect? No, you're not perfect. You're fucking human, and you still have endless shadow work to do. I don't care how high of a guru you think you are, or how much learning or how many evolutions you've gone through. There's still some stuff that's going to be there. There's still some things that are going to pop up. And you know, you're going to have to continue to do the work. Even if you're a coach or a healer teacher, you're still in the work with all of your clients and your entire community. Don't ever fucking think that you're above the work, because you're not, and things are going to come up. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that we don't stand for what's right, that light workers are just here to kind of accept everything. Like, we have to just always be in a place of love, so that we always make excuses and rationalize things that happen. At some point, it's okay to take a stand, and it's okay to say, this is not okay. You know, this is not okay. When you're a teacher or a healer or a coach, there is a certain code of conduct, a standard of integrity that you need to have, a level of integrity. Like crossing a line to get really like physically, intimately involved with one of your clients or one of your students. I mean, this is just because people who come to you are coming to you to learn. They're coming to you to grow. They're coming to heal their pain. They're coming in a vulnerable place, and they're sharing with you, usually sharing with you very vulnerable things. So to kind of form like a really unhealthy codependent emotional bond with them and then get intimately involved is just, I put the responsibility on the fucking influencer. Time and time again, I will. Now, I'm sure that my teacher has his side of the story. I'm sure he does, and I am anxious to hear it. I am very curious to hear it. And I am enough where I'll be open to listening. Okay, I'll suspend my judgment and I'm open to listening. But really, like, if it was maybe a one-time thing where everybody makes mistakes and oops, like, you know, people got like caught up in the moment and something happened. But if you're an influencer or a coach or a therapist or a teacher and it continues to happen, then it's on you. It's on you, because you know that this person is in a vulnerable spot. You know that you're using your spiritual teaching, your techniques, your philosophies, your concepts, whatever it is, to influence this person to do something that is for you. It's not about them anymore. It's about you. And it's an unhealthy pattern that needs to be healed within that's all it's showing. Okay. And so it's just so sad, and it's devastating, but I want to just repeat this message. Two things out of this, two huge things to learn is that, number one, if you are in this profession, because shit like this casts a dark shadow over the rest of us who are doing this work, the rest of us who are teaching spiritual things, because like I said, spiritual things are very intimate by nature. And these feelings are like you're connecting with someone soul to soul. So yeah, you can feel all the feels of love and adoration, sometimes worship, sometimes just curiosity, sometimes deep connection, which sometimes I can see where that can be pulled into a place of sexual attraction, or it can be because that's part of us. That's part of the energy. And especially when it's a male teacher sometimes. I'm not saying that women teachers don't do this too. I'm sure there are stories out there of women who are in places of power who took advantage of men or other people, women in their position. Like, I get that, like, I'm sure. But you know, some women that come with these traumas are looking for that father figure they never had. They're looking for that masculine energy to be that protector that they never had. And so to really and you've got to be conscious of that as a teacher, healer, spiritual guru, whatever you want to call yourself. Okay. So here's the thing. You have to have so much fucking integrity when you do this job, when you are in this business, when you're in this profession. You are responsible. You're working with your clients. You are holding space for them, but you are holding safe space for them, and you know that there are lines that you shouldn't be crossed. I mean, we can be forgiving and we can say that things are people's soul's journey. We can say all the things, but at the end of the day, if you are choosing to be in this profession, you are choosing to be in this position, you know that you have a code of conduct and integrity, a certain standard of integrity. So you got to just fucking do it. Like, you got to involved with a client or a customer is usually never a good idea unless you're willing to step down from what you're doing and pursue your relationship. But even then, you have to, really be sure you're not in a codependent space, because just of the nature of what's going on. And number two is to remember that you are your own guru. You are your own guru. There is no one that you need to worship, no one that you need to depend on to get healing from, no one that you need that has all of the information and that you don't. You are your own guru. So it's up to you also to really be discerning as to who you're getting involved in and who you're listening to and who you're following, and really taking in, when does this, if something doesn't feel in alignment with you, listen to that. Even if you think that person is amazing, even if you know this person has a huge following of people who think they're amazing, if you don't think they're amazing, or you don't think something sits right with you, trust that. Totally trust that. And I know sometimes we're just fucking blindsided. Sometimes, yes, we can do all of our homework, we can do all the research, we can sit and listen to somebody, and we just feel in alignment with them, and it turns out there's some shit behind the scenes. Sometimes, like this, in this case, I feel like it's a little bit of blindsiding. I never went to any of this teacher's events in person, so I wasn't, personally involved, but very, very much involved in the online community and involved in the teachings. I held them very dear to me. So I'm devastated. I'm still like really healing from this, because I just took everything very seriously and very to heart, and I experienced such transformation. So I still give him credit for that, because I do believe on some level his intentions were true, and his intentions were to really expand consciousness. And he did, oh my God, he did this so well. Like this, he did it, what he did it well. I shouldn't say was, like something, he is amazing at what he does, and made a really, really shitty choice, really shitty judgment. He just made a really bad judgment call for himself. And some shadow work came out that he still has to do. And I pray for him, and I hold space for him and his entire family. I'm sure his world is upside down right now too. It's interesting. It's really interesting. And I hope that he can make the choice as to how to handle this with his community in a way that honors everyone and just is very transparent. And I hold space for the woman that was on the other side of this and because it took a lot of friggin' guts to come out and post this on Facebook. I tell you, it took a lot of guts, and to share the intimate details too. Holy shit. And just, yeah. So it makes me sad to hear these stories time and time again. So it's like, if you're choosing to step up and be in this profession, if you're choosing to be a light worker, a healer, someone in the spiritual profession, or a coach, a therapist, like whatever, take your fucking job seriously to the point where you are on your own healing journey continuously. You are also doing the work, and you also just keep yourself really in a real, to a really high standard of ethics, because healing from trauma is a big deal. And this teacher was helping this woman heal from trauma, multiple traumas. And that's, people are really in a vulnerable spot. And I don't know, it just breaks my heart. So anyways, I love you all so much, but I had to share that because I have just spent the morning like crying over it, and just like, because I hate to see this happen to anyone. And, if something does happen to you like this and you're experiencing this, please come forward. Please share, please honor your intuition if it doesn't feel right. You will find support. And I know it's so hard to do right now because this woman's getting all the comments, all the support, but then all the haters will come out too. I know it's hard, but no one should have to be taken advantage of in their greatest time of need and vulnerability. And, we all have to really work on our shadow sides and be so, so careful when you're in this journey of healing and expanding and consciousness and relationships. Yeah. So just had to say that today, and just making me really think about the fact that you're all immensely powerful, unlimited, very, very powerful. And there is no guru that you need to heal you. And there is no one that will do the work for you. And there's no one that needs to take advantage of you in the position that you're in. If you're putting your trust into someone, if something doesn't feel right, honor it, and know that just keep going. Keep going. I'm not going to let this setback, stop me from doing the work that I'm doing. And I'm just going to keep healing. So I love you all very much. And any feel free to ask me. And if anyone wants to know anything that's going on with me right now, again, feel free to message me. I have a lot coming up with one-on-one coaching, group programs in my individual group. So just sending you all love, and that I appreciate all of your support, and let's just go out there and continue to fight the good fight for light workers, that we are not full of shit or snake oil or like here to take people's money or take people's hearts, or that prey on their insecurities and prey on this stuff. That we are here to truly raise the consciousness and raise the vibration of this fucking planet, so that can live in the highest calling that they have and live in a state of love and joy. And that's where we all operate from, and that's how we all see each other. And we know that what we're doing is the best thing for humanity.